When you learn life-altering news, you're often in the most basic of places. I'm at lunch, sitting in the corner with Andrea, or Dre, although I'm the only person who calls her that. She is telling me about the climate change protest while I flip through a magazine. Dre is outlining where she'll be meeting the organizers, and the demands they'll be making at City Hall when Miss Santos's crackling voice pushes through the PA system. Yahaira Rios, Yahaira Rios, please report to the main office. I feel every eye in the cafeteria turn to me. I hand the magazine to Dre, reminding her not to dog ear any of the pages, since it belongs to the library. I grab a pass from the teacher on lunch duty, but Mr. Henry, the security guard, smiles when I flash it his way. I heard them call you, girl. Not like you would be cutting nohow. I hold back a sigh. On the chessboard, I used to be known for my risk taking, but in real life, I'm predictable. I follow directions when they are given and rarely break the rules. I hang out every Saturday with Dre, watching Netflix or reading fashion blogs. Or if she's in charge of our entertainment, watching gardening tutorials on YouTube, which I pretend to understand simply because anything she loves, I love to watch her watch. Teachers' progress reports always have the same comments: quiet in class, shows potential, needs to apply more effort in school. I am a rule follower, a person whose report card always says meets expectations. I do not exceed them. I do not do poorly. I arrive and mind my business. So I have no idea what anyone in the main office could possibly want with me. How could I have guessed the truth of it? Even as teachers in the halls gasped as the news spread, even as the main office was surrounded by parents and guidance counselors, how could I have known then there are no rules, no expectations, no rising to the occasion? When you learn news like this, there is only falling. I replay that moment again and again, circle it like a plane in a holding pattern. How that morning on the fifth day of June, the worst thing that I could imagine was being lectured for my progress report, or getting another nudge to return to an after school club. I didn't know then that 3 hours before, as I arrived at school, before lunch or Dre or the long walk down the school hallway, the door to my old life was slammed shut. When I walk into the office, Mammy is here, wearing chancletas, her hair in rollers, and that's the move that telegraphs the play. Mammy manages a nice spa uptown and says her polished appearance is advertisement. She never leaves the house anything less than Miss Universe Perfect. The principal's assistant, Miss Santos, comes from around her desk, puts an arm around my shoulders. She looks like she's been weeping. I want to shake her arm off, want to shove her back to her desk. That arm is trying to tell me something I don't have the stomach to hear. I don't want her comfort, don't want Mammy here, or anything about what's to come. I take a breath the way I used to before I walked into a room where every single person wanted to see me lose. Ma? When she looks at me, I notice her eyes are red and puffy, her bottom lip quivers, and she presses the tips of her fingers there as if to create a wall against the sob that threatens. She answers, Tu papi? The flight. Pappy was on departs without the incident on most days, I'm told. Leaves from JFK International Airport and lands in Puerto Plata in exactly 3 hours and 36 minutes. Routine, I'm told. A routine flight with the same kind of plane that flies in daily and gets a mechanical check, and had a veteran pilot and should have landed fine. Mammy says the panic hit most of the waiting families at the same time. Here in New York, with the Atlantic refereeing between us, we knew much earlier. 30 minutes after the plane departed, it was reported that the tail had snapped, that like some fishing, hunting creature, the jet plunged into the water completely vertical, hungry for only God knows what. Prey. Sunk. I signed myself out of school. I ignore Miss Santos' condolences. Mammy is still crying. We walk to my locker. I leave my books in the cafeteria. Mammy is still crying. I leave school without saying goodbye to Dre. Mammy can't stop crying. Mr. Henry waves. I wave back. Outside the day is beautiful. Mammy cries. The sun is shining. The breeze a soft touch along my face. Mammy is still crying. It's almost as if the day has forgotten it's stolen my father, or maybe it's rejoicing at its gain. Mammy is still crying, but my eyes, they remain dry.